This is going to be Scholomance as an Assassination Rogue. Let's show a class that I haven't shown before. So I don't do a whole lot of videos on damage dealer roles, because one, I don't play them all that much, and two, when I do, they don't tend to be all that interesting, but this run had some cool stuff happen during it. Level 39 right now. Apparently most rogue players these days use the outlaw specialization. Used to be called combat, now is something different. I like assassination. That's the way I do it. Subtlety is the other one. Never tried it, don't really know what it's like. But assassination is the way I like to do it. So, an assassination rogue is sort of like... So it's an energy class. I'm watching my yellow bar up there. Kinda ends up that I'm just watching like a whole bunch of meters and juggling a lot of damage over time effects. It's kinda complicated. It took me a while to figure out how to play it, and it feels weird and different from other stuff, but once I got used to it, it's pretty good. So number one, Sinister Strike. Oh yeah, this has like the same global cooldown as Brewmaster, so when I press a button, I can press it again pretty quickly, quicker than most classes. By the way, Protection Warrior Tank, Restoration Shaman, I see Capacitor Totem being used, so that's great. Two other somethings. Another kind of Shaman and somebody else. I don't know what. Anyway, so Sinister Strike, number one. Moderate amount of damage, generates a combo point. Right, I have combo points. So my damaging abilities fill up those 5 dots below my energy bar. Then I can spend them on finishing moves to... So, right, so Sinister Strike and Garrote. I wanted to... Sinister Strike is instant damage, Garrote is damage over time. So it's one of the bleed effects that I want to always have up on my targets. Ideally as many of my targets at once as I can if I'm fighting more than one. Doesn't last all that long, and it has a cooldown, so it's, you know, it's something to manage. Oh, I'm in stealth right now, so I get a different action bar for that. Different abilities I can use. It's complicated. Number 3 is Rupture, and 4 is Envenom. Envenom starts as Eviscerate, but it changes as the rogue levels up. Sinister Strike does that too, and it's going to do that in this very dungeon. Anyway, so, what I want to do is start every combat in stealth if I can. Use Garrote to apply a stronger bleed, because from stealth it does 30% increased damage. So that breaks my stealth, and then I go into my normal rotation. I want to have 4 or 5 combo points to put up Rupture, so that's my second bleed effect. Passively, every stab I do has a chance to apply Deadly Poison, which is just something that's on my knives. It's a buff I do have to apply every hour, up there in the upper right. I have a button for it. Used to be you had to buy poisons and it would like use this reagent out of your inventory, but that's gone. You just press the Deadly Poison button, then for the next hour your weapons will apply that when you stab something with them. So anyway, that's the third damage over time effect. Envenom, by the way, is a finishing move that just kind of deals instant damage. So it's like Sinister Strike is to Envenom as Garrote is to Rupture. You know, something like that. During the course of this dungeon, by the way, there's 4 books you have to find that appear in random places in each of the rooms you go through. That's where that book was, and I wanted to make sure we got it before moving on. So right, once I'm at that point, once I have Garrote, Rupture, and Deadly Poison up on my main target, like if it's a single target fight, it's just a matter of juggling my energy bar and combo points so that I apply... combo points are spent all at once on finishing moves. For instant damage, it just does more damage. For bleeds, for Rupture, the bleed lasts longer. So if I do a 5 combo point... That was Shadow Step, by the way. Moves me behind my targets instantly, and it doesn't have to be used on enemies. I can use it on party members too, so I can just warp to somebody's position. It's nice. Little disorienting. It's kind of like Blink, but useful for moving around. So yeah, here's a room with a bunch of small health pool enemies, like large numbers. That is something that Rogue is extremely bad at until level 62, I think, when I get my first actual area of effect attack. So yeah, one of the things I had to learn. Single target's not so bad. I'm just watching my Garrote, Rupture, and Rupture timers. My energy bar and my combo points. Yeah, just those 4 things. But on a multi-target fight, my only way to do damage to multiple targets is to actually target switch and get my bleeds and poisons up on each one individually. So, you know, I'm watching... I do a lot of target switching, even more than like I would as a mage. I'm watching those nameplates, which conveniently show my debuffs on the targets. So I know when those are about to fall off, because I can see them. Try to reapply each bleed before it falls off. You know, if I have more than 2 targets, I'm not going to keep them all up full time. Even with 2, that's tricky. Yeah, it's complicated, but it's fun. Once I get into it, this room has a book in it, by the way, and it's always so hard to see. It's behind me. The one place I'm not looking, no one is. I am the one who ends up finding this book. It can be in any of these hallways. Trying to keep track of my tank. I wasn't sure where she'd gone. But yeah, so at 62 I'm gonna get Fan of Knives, I think it is, or is it 64? I don't know, it's somewhere past level 60. I'll finally be able to just like... There's the book. Found it. Right there. Costs a little bit of energy and just like... Well, shoots a Fan of Knives out all around me and hits everything surrounding me.
Show me what you've got.
But for now, target switching and bleeds is all I get. Other stuff. 6 is my kick. It's an interrupt. Not much more to say about that. It's a standard melee range interrupt. You get it pretty early, so rogues are good interrupters. 7 is, I believe it's called Poisoned Knife, so that throws a knife, and I think is guaranteed to apply my poison to the target. So if I can't be in melee range, then I can just throw a knife with that. Also generates a combo point. 8's Bag of Tricks, we know that well. 9 is Shadow Step, I described that already. 0 is Kidney Shot. So that's another way to spend combo points on a stun. So I have a stun, but it costs combo points, and the more points I spend, the longer the stun lasts. So if my kick is on cooldown and I really want to interrupt an ability, or if it's an uninterruptible one on a stunnable enemy, then I want to kidney shot it. Other situational uses, you know, use it for everything you'd use a stun for. Minus is sprint, just lets me move faster for a little while. And I think that's about all there is of interest here. Couple of other abilities in stealth, but nothing I end up actually using. Cheap shot sometimes, so I can use that to stun something instead of applying a stronger bleed to it. I usually want to Garrote out of stealth, well, in stealth, because it comes with a damage bonus, but cheap shot if I really want to stun the thing that I'm targeting. And that one generates 2 combos instead of just 1. This is a room I didn't really understand until I'd seen it several times. 6 bone weavers around the outside of the room, each with a pile of bones next to them that's, I think, constantly spawning those woven bone guards. So kill the 6 bone weavers and the boss will arrive. Until then, Dark Master Gandling and Lillian Voss have a very long drawn-out conversation. Additionally, bone piles. Click on them, I get that little thing that looks like a debuff, but it's a good thing. So I have bone armor for 5 minutes. It just got consumed because there's an ability called Bone Spike, or maybe Bone Shards does it. Somebody in this room does a thing that does a bunch of damage, but is completely blocked by the bone armor. So you want to keep it up, then get it again when it gets consumed by protecting you from Bone Spike. That's a mechanic during the boss and also during the lead up to the boss. So yeah, kind of a messy, annoying room to tank. You'll see when I get to tank perspective for this, but not so bad for a damage dealer, it turns out.
Another soul with this nightmare.
Yes, we get it. You two hate each other. How many ways can you say it?
Come, Voss. Your fate awaits you.
So she's in the middle of the room. Not really sure what's going on. Oh, she just shadow stepped or vanished or something. I'll get vanish eventually. That's another signature rogue ability. I don't have it yet, though. It comes later. Rattlegore. Standard dude other than the bone spike ability. Alright, so bone spike was on me. I lost my bone armor. Didn't take any damage, but now I need another one so that can continue to be true. There's sprint. That's what it's like. The only other rogue I've ever played in this game was a dwarf, and she had like this super goofy run and weird animations, and I don't know, it feels surprisingly different to play this character than how it did to play her. Sure, I'm a little cartoon fox now, but somehow I feel less goofy than I did as a dwarf. Funny how that works, isn't it? Character appearance and animations and stuff does a lot for the feel of this game. There are some character races I just will never play if I can possibly avoid it. Just because I don't like the way that they are. Alright, so another book room here. Gotta hunt down third book in this room. This flesh horror is weird. You can damage it directly. I'm trying to figure out, like, it has meat grafts on it. My target macro worked for that one. If you kill this, if you kill all the meat grafts on it, it dies. You can't really deplete its health bar, practically. But my target macro only works for the first one. I can't do additional ones for some reason. It just stops working. I don't know why. It fails for that. They're hard to target. I don't really understand how to do it. I guess just tab to them, maybe? I don't know, tabbing when there are like 10 things in combat already is pretty slow. I don't know, there must be a better way to handle that. The rest of the party figures it out, I guess. Like, I'm trying to click, it doesn't work. Trying to macro, it doesn't really work. Trying to tab, I'm not making it work. But I guess I'm not trying very hard. I don't know. It's just one enemy in this one place where that's a problem. So as long as somebody in the party can handle it, I guess that somebody doesn't have to be me. But it feels like it does, just in case everybody else has the problem too. She found the book. There it is. Forbidden Rites, another... Oh boy. Let's hear more conversation between these two. So one of the reasons I really wanted to show this run in particular, other than that it's a pretty good rogue showcase, is it's also a pretty good Scholomance showcase. Because there's a mechanic during this fight, and also an upcoming one, that I didn't capture in any other run that I recorded for this place. So Lillian Voss here gets mind-controlled by Dark Master Gandling for a moment. We have to fight her. Halfway through, he's gonna, like, suck out her soul or something. Right here. I had never seen this complete. We always killed her, well, you don't kill her, but, you know, depleted her enough before this happened. This time we didn't have the damage for it. So he's going to complete the transformation on her. Your soul is mine, so now Lillian's soul is here. The adventure guide for this boss says she just does whatever she wants and ignores the threat table. Apparently that mechanic refers specifically to this phase that I'd never seen before. So she has a fixate, moves slow, watching to see if her target is me. It's not. Usually when something like that happens, if somebody is fixating and moving slow, you want to just run away, because if they catch up with you, it's going to hurt. Alright, soul fades into the spirit realm. It can no longer be harmed. Soul fixates. Oh, so the soul is still there, but now she comes back and you want to stab her. She needed one more hit. Anyway, so that's what that fight can go like if your damage is low. It's pretty interesting.
Your mortal body to pieces.
Leave me to die.
The dialogue was a little different there since we saw that phase. Anyway, so that was cool. Alright, fourth book room here, full of bored students. That's what they're called. Another place with a large number of low health enemies, so I'm going to do poorly here. Because I am an Assassination Rogue. I wonder if Outlaw does any better here. I wonder if they have a cleave attack before 62 or 64 or whatever it is. I don't know, I've never played one. So, Demon Warrior here, with an accent mark. It's picking up a lot of enemies. Usually you don't want this many students. Hey, look at that, I'm level 40. That's nice. You have a PvP slot available, who cares? It's gonna bug me about it again. But the interesting thing about leveling up to 40 is it just replaced my Sinister Strike with Mutilate, so that ability leveled up, and is now better. Costs marginally more energy, but it does twice as much damage and gives me twice as many combo points. Tank died. Yep, you had too many students on you. Healer couldn't keep up with that. Seems reasonable. I don't think I could have if I were the healer. That's just too many. Strangely enough, I managed to survive this encounter. I think it might be just because my damage is kind of middling and not great as an Assassination Rogue, especially in a room like this. But I don't pull threat very much. I have some defensive buttons. I have evasion, which increases my dodge chance by 100% for like 8 seconds, I think. So I can just like not take any physical damage for a while there. Oh, I am still in combat somehow, by the way. So is everybody else, which is why they're sitting there dead, because they can't release their spirits. It's bugged. Lol.
I can feel her will break.
Then it fixed itself.
Soul burns so brightly.
Oh. That's dialogue from the Lillian Voss fight. Yeah, some combat script kept playing there and just finished when everybody was able to release their spirit. Okay. So she was keeping me in combat. Yeah, she's still there, getting like soul choked by him. Well, okay, she's having a bad time, but there's nothing we can do about it now. Anyway, yeah, so I somehow survived that. Took out the bored students by myself and got the book. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Alright, so now, Mutilate. Since it's a much better combo point generator, I can just, let's see, what did I do there? Stealth, Shadow Step, Garrote to get the stronger one. Mutilate once to get to 4 combo points, then Rupture immediately. So much earlier Rupture. I put the Garrote back up because it was about to fall off. Again, Mutilate costs a little more than Sinister Strike did, so I have to wait for energy to regenerate more, but it's way more efficient. I do something silly here. I'm trying to turn this quest in, but somehow I didn't notice those bored students were there. I know it's a little too late, so whoops! I pulled them into combat. It was fine. We can handle it. But Demon Warrior was off doing something else. Maybe she didn't realize I'd destroyed the book already. I was trying to find it. Anyway, we handle it. But yeah, this is the room where you can turn in the book quest, because you destroy the 4th one here. I'm trying to figure out where she is to try to bring this to her. I think, yeah, she was just going down the rows looking for books that don't exist anymore. Maybe? I don't know. Hard to tell. Didn't say anything. She has a transformation that was applied to her by that last boss. Looks like some polyformic acid potion. Yeah, okay. So, looks like it's a good thing.
I'll use you to teach a lesson.
So another mechanic that I kept hoping for here. Dark Master Gandling chooses a random party member, twice during his fight, I think, maybe 3 times if you kill him slow enough, to teach them a harsh lesson. Teaching someone a harsh lesson means teleporting them into one of the 3 chambers around him, where you gotta fight your way out on your own. And it happened to me. I was hoping this would happen. I was the lucky one who got the harsh lesson here. Unfortunately, this is another place where Assassination Rogue really struggles. Kinda hard to kill all of those. Fortunately, though, 1, they don't do much damage, so the gate is closed, and 2, the gate just opens after a while if I don't kill them all. Maybe it always just takes a moment to open. Gotta wait for energy. So yeah, gate is open. I'll bring the rest of the party, and they can take care of them. Jojo Dolo, that's not the healer. That's the other shaman, the elemental one, I think. Gets the other harsh lesson. He too has the polyformic transformation. Actually, 3 people do here. Maybe they got that on purpose. Maybe you can like dig up vials of that stuff and... Yeah, that's probably what they were up to. Okay, they were all trying to transform for the combat bonus it gives. Maybe I should have done that too. But then everybody would look the same and be a super ugly undead thingy. One of the races I refuse to play. Alright, anyway, so that was a cool showcase run in Scholomance and cool showcase of rogue abilities. I had a good time. See you next time.